I think 11 of the 15 drives, 3 plays or less by East Carolina. Have you been a part of many efforts like that, regardless of opponent?
I don't know. We'd have to look back and over the years. I'm sure there's been some, but man, I thought our kids played really tough. Thought we played hard. Thought we played physical, and for the most part, fairly disciplined games. That was positive to see for sure.
I was gonna say, on their one drive again, it looked like they kind of had to earn every little inch of yardage that they got. I know you would have liked to have gotten off on third and that fourth down for sure, but is that at least promising again when, if you're going to give up a touchdown drive, they're really having to kind of maybe struggle to get all of it?
Yeah, I think, they had the 2 explosive plays, one late there in the game and then the one in the first half, which, mainly were just missed tackles, ball thrown. One of them, we got pressure. He got outside the pocket on us, and then, they credit to them. He made a good throw and catch. I think C. Woods thought he was going to throw it to his front shoulder, threw it on his back shoulder, and then we missed the tackle. And so, we were pursuing the ball and got him down and made him snap it again. And it's like I told the guys at halftime, the 4th and goal right there, we'd called a timeout. I really wish, kind of after we'd seen it again, we had a couple timeouts to burn at that point. But I should have put us in a better situation call-wise on that 4th down. And so I told them that at half, and they had 10 at half. And really it was the result of about 3 plays, and just be confident, go out there and execute in the second half, and then was proud that they stood up the way they did.
What have you seen from Isaiah Wachovia this year?
I think the biggest thing you see now is just confidence. I think when you look at it from the spring just to the summer, and just how much he's improved over the last 6 months, and now you see a young man that's really confident again in his ability and how to play within the framework of the defense. So, I think that's the biggest thing. The physicality, and yes, there's a lot of good stuff there, but he's playing at a really confident level too.
Kind of going off that, you've been without crossing out for a little bit. Massey missed a little chunk during the game. What have you seen from that safety group as you felt like you thought you had depth and quality there, and you're kind of having to lean on that a little bit? It seems like they just keep making plays.
Yeah. I think just overall getting guys ready that maybe haven't played as much is important for this week and down the road. And I think we'll get some of those guys back here, hopefully in the short term, but definitely before the end of the year would be the expectation based on everything we're told. And I think there's a chance Cross that could be ready to go this week. Talking to Docs, that would obviously be a big boost for us. But I think opportunities for other guys, whether it's Abdul, who we haven't seen much, or just trying to get some of those guys some reps so they're ready to play. Bryce McMorris, I think I have a chance to have a role this week and challenge them to practice well and earn that right to be ready to go. So, but I think the biggest thing in that room is there's so much good leadership from Isaiah, McGill, Cross, some of those older guys, getting some of these other guys ready, and going out of their way to help, make sure they coach them up. So I feel confident that those guys will do a good job in helping bring those young guys along the way.
What have you seen from Temple?
Well, they get the ball out really fast. I think, Warner's a really good quarterback. We're anticipating him playing by all accounts, kind of we've heard and read. I think he'll be ready back to go this week. And I think 5th fastest in the country is what we had as far as getting the ball out of his hands. It's something like 2.5 seconds. So it's just catching and throwing at a really high level. They're a rhythm passing team. They do a good job with the receivers, not a lot of drops. Just distributing the ball to the tight ends, the receivers, the backs, getting 5 out a lot. And then the ability to kind of have a wrinkle run game-wise each week to try to keep you on your toes. But between the quick game, the screen game, I think they do a really good job being balanced. I think coordinator does a great job calling it as far as just understanding their strengths and their weaknesses, and putting the quarterback in situations to be successful.
With an offense that maybe in a team overall that's struggling a little bit win-wise, is it again important, maybe like it was on Thursday night, to really not let them get going early and not let them get in that rhythm and build that confidence?
Yeah. I think it's important any week, to try to start fast and But they've done a good job. You look at the UTSA game where they scored. On what has been at least historically a really good solid defense since they've been there, and they put up points all over them. And so I don't think last week's game they were without their starting quarterback, which changed the offense completely. So once again, 3 weeks in a row we'll have to have a plan for 2 different quarterbacks. But when Warner's in the game, I think they've done a really nice job as far as being able to move the ball as of late. When you look at the last half of the season with him back there.
And then just turnovers, finally got those going again. First multi-turnover game. Is that big for confidence for them to see, Kobe just make that play and have guys around him to help? Just good to see, Jonathan talked about reading, knowing kind of what they were doing on that play before the ball was even snapped a little bit, and trusting, what you guys have done. Does that build a little bit in that, turnover regard?
I think the guys are confident. I don't think we were in a rut. We just hadn't got them. I mean, we've had some unfortunate plays happen too. I mean, we had 2 DBs tackle each other for a pick, and I could see it coming in the box. You could tell that the back guy didn't realize that the front guy was there, and we run into each other. So I mean, there were opportunities for about 6 in that game. They're going to come. I think at some point there's opportunities we're going to have to be able to make those plays. But it was a game where I thought Colby's play was critical in that game. I thought that was really the play of the game. Was they just had a scramble. They were going to be rolling with a 1st and 10. I think roughly they're 35, but have a chance to kind of at least get it into that field goal kind of territory with a couple first downs, and that was just a momentum killer for them. And I thought that was a huge play. And then obviously Jonathan Ice in the game for us was awesome. But we felt like when we talked to the guys, we felt like one of the big things that was outside of the main 3 things that we talk about each week as far as 3rd down efficiency, explosives, and run game. We felt like turnovers were going to be huge. Going on the road into a hostile environment, we felt like we had to win the turnover battle. We hadn't done that in the Oklahoma and the TCU games, so we needed to create some, and I thought those were huge down the stretch.
And then just lastly with Kobe going to play his former team, I know you had KD who had played at Tulane before last year. 1, any information that you really get from that? And 2, do you kind of have to make sure he's not too hyped for it, or do you kind of trust him as one of your veteran guys to kind of go in once the game starts with the right mindset?
Yeah, I think he'll be a pro. We don't worry about that with him. And I mean, as far as what they do or anything, I mean, we can see on film, and obviously we trust his evaluation of what he's seen from the spring. But at the end of the day, we'll put a plan together, and it's about our guys going out and executing that, regardless.